Sup guys, Fat Archon here, bringing another 40k tutorial. Today I'm going to be going over how to get set up and running on Tabletop Simulator in 2024. More specifically, how to play Warhammer 40k on Tabletop Simulator in 2024. This is actually an update to my original video. I wanted to get it updated. A lot of time has gone by since then. When I first recorded that, 10th edition was like brand new, so we were definitely in limbo with like Battlescribe and all that sort of stuff, so like creating armies. I'm going to try to make this all-encompassing, so this is pretty much all you need to watch in order to get set up and playing. Like, for real, guys, if you've never, like, played Tabletop Simulator before and you're trying to improve at Warhammer 40k, or just play it more, maybe got a friend on the other side of the country, or in a different country, etc., man, you really can't beat it. The other perks are, like, obvious. You don't have to worry about, like, transporting your armies. You don't have to worry about paying for them. There's literally tens of thousands of models that you get to play with literally every day if you wanted to. I will mention, Tabletop Simulator is cheap as hell. It's only, like, it's 10 bucks and often goes on sale for even cheaper than that. So, like, I couldn't even list all the perks that are involved with it. Again, if you're trying to learn, improve, or just practice in Warhammer 40k, this is, like, by far the best way to do it. So, the first step, obviously, get on Steam, download Tabletop Simulator. I wouldn't even think about it. Like I said, it's really cheap. It's $10 last I checked, and again, you can often get it cheaper. What I personally would recommend, once you get it downloaded, I would get on the workshop and just look up what they have for Warhammer 40k. I remember that's exactly what I did when I first got it set up. You're going to see they got tables, they're going to have lots of maps, they're going to have some tutorials, you're going to have armies, all that sort of stuff. Maybe you want to look up like your specific army. So currently I'm playing Chaos Space Marines, so I'll see what they got there. Bada bing, bada boom. Again, we got armies. We got the index cards. That won't apply to Chaos Space Marines, but maybe your army still use the index. Definitely look up the index cards for it. Now, in regards to the armies, I wouldn't really get those off the workshop unless you're looking for specific models or you happen to find one with really sick ones. Like, for example, this one has pretty cool ones for some of the models I use, so I do use it. Most of those you're going to want to get off the Discord, which we'll go over here in a little bit. What you do want to get, though, so there are two main mods that you're going to want to get. First one is called FTC, so Frank, Tom, Charlie. Specifically, you want the competitive base. This is the one I use in pretty much all of my videos, and this is the one you'll always see. So definitely download that. I would also, when you're getting ready to create armies, I would also download Yellowscribe, which works with Battlescribe and allows you to convert your armies. Specifically, you want the V2 version. Now, I will try to post all the links in the description below so you guys don't have to hunt for all these, so definitely be sure to check those out. But those two, FTC and Yellowscribe, are like mandatory. Now, once you get those downloaded, we could hop on the Tabletop Simulator and we could like start a match and all that stuff. But really what I would recommend is get on the Discord and download the armies and download like the mod that it has. Again, I'll post the link in the description below, but honestly what you can do is literally just Google Tabletop Simulator 40k Discord, and it should be the very first link. When you get on here, go to the Start Playing section. This was something people missed in my original video, and they were asking a lot of questions that could be answered on here. I would strongly recommend that you guys go through all of this, read everything that's in here. It will have the download links for the Battle Forge pack is what you're looking for. Again, I'll try to post a link in the description below in case you just want to like skip that step, but get on here, download the armies. That's the big reason. You don't want to hop in a game until you learn like the basics, and definitely not until you create an army. I do want to mention, too, this is, this is Discord. You guys need a microphone, unless you're playing with friends and they know that you're going to be using the chat, because there is a chat feature within a Tabletop Simulator. Otherwise, though, you really need a mic. Warhammer 40k already takes, like, a long time as it is. I couldn't imagine, like, typing with a stranger I've never met before and, like, trying to argue with them over a dice or something. Definitely wouldn't do that. Alright, once you got it downloaded, once you got the Battle Forge downloaded specifically, has all the armies, we can go about and make an army. And look, here's the Battle Forge right here. I wouldn't be surprised if they charge money now. Again, go ahead and check the description below. Alright, to make a match, this is going to be a private one just for us. So this isn't multiplayer, but I'll get to that later. What you do is go to Create from the main menu, go to Single Player. If you have the Battle Forge, like I recommend, go to Save and Load. And boom, you got a bunch in here. It's probably going to be formatted similarly, I would assume. So I'm going to go in my Battle Forge pack. So again, we're creating an army. So I'm going to go to Warhammer 40k, Army Collections. In this case, I've been playing Chaos a lot lately, so I'm going to go to Armies of Chaos. Chaos Space Marines. I could do Thousand Suns, World Eaters. In this case, I'm vanilla. Maybe I'm feeling like vanilla today, so I'm just gonna do regular CSM. You're gonna load it. Bada bing, bada boom, it's going to load a bunch of models. Now, a lot of times, especially if you download mods off the workshop, and even from the Battleforge pack, a lot of times you're going to get pop-ups saying that there's missing models. Don't worry about that, guys. Just close those windows if you see it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it here shortly, but look at what you got. Look at how detailed and awesome these are. Completely free. 100% free, last I checked. Boom, you got Terminators, you got literally everything. Literally, and even stuff that they don't even, like, have anymore. So, Chitin Ravager, the Brass Scorpion, all that sort of stuff. Again, guys, if you're trying to play more 40k, you can't beat it. Look at how beautiful the Lord Discordant is. My favorite freaking model. So, alright. So, we're in here. We're ready to make an army. Now, if you were, like, super ultra brand new to 40k, I guess you could just pull stuff aside and like save it, which again we'll go over in a moment. But what I'm really going to recommend you do for creating an army, and hopefully you've already done this, maybe you've been playing for a few years, you just haven't done TTS, you're going to want to use Battlescribe. Again, links are in the description. So I thought I had there it is. I was like, I thought I had it shortcutted. So, alright, Battlescribe. If you haven't used it already, this is like the super ultra quick tutorial for you. So you're going to create a new army. You're going to add your force. You're going to choose your army. In this case, I'm just going to call it TTS 2024. Hit OK. Gives these options. You make it a 2K game. Here, let me make the window a little bigger for y'all. You can show and hide. So I don't want to see legends. Maybe I only want to bring Nurgle or something, so I'll get rid of those. On the left, you're going to have all the units. So I'm going to choose Abaddon. I'm just going to make this quick, by the way. So, yeah, this is going to be super thorough. I'm going to add Abaddon, some Cultists. We definitely need some vehicles in here. Let's bring a Destructor. Ooh, I love Defilers. And then, yeah, we'll bring some Nurglings along, because why not? Obviously, you can go in here and change all the options. Cultists don't have these anymore, but maybe if they did, you could change it. You know, I'm going to make them Slanesh, give them some las cannons, a combi bolter, all that sort of stuff. Once it's done, go on ahead, be sure you save any changes if you had any. So, I told you to download the mod earlier, the Yellowscribe. Make sure you have Yellowscribe. The next step, though, we need to convert it. So to do that, we need to go onto their website. The link's in the description below, but the website is yellowscribe.xyz. Once you're on here, you can upload your roster. It's going to take a moment, and it'll let you, you can verify it. Honestly, I just skip this. I know what I made. You're going to submit it. It's going to give you a little code. Be sure to copy the code. And then, back in TTS, so this is how you, like, load different mods and stuff. You can just go up in Games, and generally what you want to do, if you're not sure where it is, maybe it's not on your save and load or whatever, just search for it. So I'm just going to search for the word yellow, right here. Go on ahead and load it. It's going to bring up this window. We're going to paste the code from earlier and hit submit. This is like the magic of the internet going on. This is one of my favorite things. All the people involved with this, both Battlescribe, TTS, Yellowscribe, man, all those people are so awesome. Be sure you're supporting them, showing them your love. But anyway, so we got our models here. So one way we could have done it is we could have like saved all the models earlier, but here's another way to do it and how I do it these days. One of the updates for the 2024 version. So again, so I need all these models. So I'm going to go into the games up here. I'm going to go to save and load. I'm going to find the army again, so back to Warhammer 40k, Armies of Chaos, Chaos Space Marines, and then I'm going to search. This is how you can add something without, like, overriding the entire map, so I'm going to search. I need Mr. Abaddon. Just drag them in like I am there. I need some Cultists. We'll just grab a few. Oop, not that guy. I need a Predator. I need a Defiler. Got to make sure it's the cool one. And then Nurglings. So, alright, Nurglings isn't in the Chaos Space Marine Index, so I need to go back a little ways, find the demons, and again, search, and Nurglings. Pop those guys in there. So don't worry about the quantities or nothing. So, like, yeah, there's supposed to be 10 cultists, right? Well, I only grabbed a few, and realistically, I only need 2 of them. So what you're going to do, you're going to click on the card, and click on the model, and that's going to, like, save it. Click on the card, click on the model, click on the card, click on the model, and go through and do it for all these little bubbies. When you get everything selected, what I always do, I always delete everything, and then you just hit Create Army. It's going to load your guys right there. Now, you could save them right now. Maybe you're OCD like I am, and you like to organize them a little bit. By the way, how I deleted that, because I couldn't click on it, I right-clicked on it, and then I hit delete on my keyboard. If you ever can't select something, just right-click on it. but I'm going to organize it just slightly and just make it a little pretty. Now, here's obviously an important bit. You're going to want to save it all, so highlight it all, right-click on one of them, and choose Save Object. This is going to save it to your Saved Objects folder, so I'm going to call it TTS24. But once you got it saved, you go on ahead and delete it, do whatever you want, and to load it again, you're going to go to Objects, up on the very top, Saved Objects, and it's going to be listed in here. And you can always search if you have a million like I do. Like, dude, look, I have at least 13 pages. But yes, drag it in, and they're going to load in there. Now, why did I do this? Maybe you're not familiar with, well, yeah, maybe you're not familiar with TTS, or you're not familiar with Battlescribe. It's going to save all the freaking rules to it. So if I just hover over this guy, it's going to show me all his stats, all his weapon profiles, and it'll give me a rundown of his abilities. Now, maybe you don't have his abilities memorized. Just hit 1 on your numpad, and it's going to bring up the advanced view. If you scroll down, cool, man, now I know all of his abilities. I don't even need a codex. I don't need to give them 60 bucks, any of that sort of stuff. I just know, just again, by hitting 1 on my numpad. So, once you got your army saved, I wouldn't jump right into a game. Like, that's not smart. You want to learn the basics. So, we're going to load a map. In this case, what I would recommend for maps is go back on the workshop, and again, a really common one is WTC, and in fact, you might look up WTC Tournament. That's almost definitely going to bring you up tournament maps that, again, are set up for, like, fair play. You don't have to worry about, like, bad terrain placement or anything. Once you pick out a few of these, I download a bunch, go back into TTS, and again, we can search. So actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. We wouldn't search for a map, we would search for FTC. That's always going to be the base that we're working off of. So FTC, competitive base. I'm going to load it. This is where you're going to be playing all your games, so get familiar with this screen here. You choose a seat, doesn't really matter. You can choose a table size, so if you're playing a 1K game or just a combat patrol, maybe you're doing Necromunda or something like that with your friends, you can always change that. I'm just going to set it to regular Strike Force and hit Confirm for Gaming. I chose red, so I'm over on this side. Now you'll notice it gives you these mission cards. We'll go over these in a moment, but for now, don't worry about it. I want to show you guys a few basic things first. So again, I want to load my army, so I'm going into Objects, Saved Objects, and I'm just dragging in my models. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, if you want to rotate them, you can do them one at a time by just hovering your mouse. You don't have to click or nothing, and hitting Q or E. That will rotate. If you want to rotate everything, click and drag it to select them all, and then rotate. Some other handy buttons, and this is especially helpful if you're like making your army the old-fashioned way, where you load up the map and then search everything. So let's say that everything's like disorganized here. All these little guys are disorganized. What you can do, or maybe you're playing and they like fell over or something, that like will definitely happen from time to time. Select them all, and then the number keys on your keyboard, not the numpad, but the number keys along the top, they will align them in rows. So if I hit 1, put them in row 1, 2, 3, 4, as many as you want to do. This is an excellent way to organize everything. So again, if they all fall over or whatever, I'll just choose them all and hit 2. Cool, I don't have to worry about it. If you're OCD like I am, again, you can rotate them all. You rotate multiples at the same time. Another handy key is F as in Frank or F as in flip. That's going to flip your models. So it's going to, yeah, it's going to flip them over. It's an easy way to track the casualties, track morale, that sort of stuff. Another button, you won't use this too often, but you can increase and decrease the size with pluses and minuses. So I'll go ahead and do that. Now, for the cards or index cards, that'll be really common. You know, how can I read that? I gotta zoom in, I can barely read it. No, man, just hit Alt. Oops, spacebar, so spacebar resets your camera. Hit Alt. And then with the mouse wheel on your mouse, you can zoom in, and sweet. Now I can read them easy peasy. This is especially handy for index cards. So in fact, maybe I'm not too familiar with Cultists, and I don't know, my numpad's broken or something, so I can't open it up like that. Again, I downloaded it earlier. I can just search Chaos Index. Search, I'm gonna look for Cultist. This works for anything. If you need to add anything to your game at all, you can do it exactly like this. So I'm just gonna add the little card, flip it around, and now if I hit Alt, sweet, I know their entire profile. This is an old card, this is index, but if you have your own index, or if you're able to get these for your codex, which you totally can, sweet man. You can also make custom. If you go into Objects, Components, and then Custom, you can actually load an image yourself. So I have done that before, where I literally just pull these from like the PDF codex, and I just make my own cards or whatever. It's super easy to do it that way. So you got your army loaded. We know how to load stuff. We know how to use Battlescribe. That's pretty important there. Some other things I want to show you. So, the best part of this mod, and what makes it almost better than playing in real life, is the dice feature, the dice tool. Definitely get familiar with this. If you're brand new, definitely get familiar. So up on the top, you can choose your colors. I'll just do red, so it's easy to see. Now, let's say, yeah, I got 10 cultists, and they're shooting into these Nurglings right here. Well, 10 cultists, they got 10 pistols, so I'm going to choose 10. I know what they hit on 4s, so I'm going to hit roll all dice. To delete dice, you got 2 ways. So you could obviously just hover over, hit delete. You could select a few and hit delete. But what you're really going to want to do is use these buttons on the left. If you just left click, it'll delete the single column. However, if you want to delete this column and everything below it, right click there. That's the fastest and most common way you're going to do it. So that sucks. I only got 3 hits, whatever. Now I'm going to wound on 3s. So let's re-roll. I got 2 wounds. He's going to save on a 6-up. Oh, he saved none. Here's another button that's handy. So if you hover over, even if you don't like hover over for long, you see how it says 4 out of 4? That's his wound count. To adjust that, hit the numpad 2 on your numpad. To the opposite, to add wounds back, maybe he regenerates or something, hit 3. Another extremely important key related to the numpads, 5. Or excuse me, 4. Numpad 4. You see on the top it says measuring 1, 2, 3. This is how you measure distances. Well, this is one way to measure distances where you're really going to use this as deep strike. If somebody's deep striking or coming in from strat reserved, just set to 9 inches, and sweet, man. They don't have to like fiddle around with any of the stuff. They can just set them along the edge. Now, we'll get into the specifics more here in a moment, but let's say you need to measure. So maybe I need to measure the range. These guys, they have 12-inch pistols. They're over here. Ooh, I'm not sure if that's 12 inches. Here's one of the most important keys you could possibly know. If you're going to remember anything from this, remember this. Tab. Tab, measure distances. So if I hover over here and I see how there's an outline, that means he's selected. So once or highlighted, I should say. Once he's highlighted, I'm going to hold down tab, and I'm going to measure. He's 16 inches away, or 16.9 in fact. So make sure you're using tab. That is huge. You can also use that while moving. So if I pick them up, so I select everything, I hold down left click, and then I hold down tab, I can measure movement easily. So I know they're moving 6. Heck, I'm gonna go ahead and advance. So I'll roll my dice. Ooh, got a 6. So I'll move another 6 on top of that. Definitely be measuring everything. Now here's definitely something I'd recommend for like newer players out there. Set up the auto measure. So when I move these guys, around, you don't see anything. Whereas I believe, did these guys have it? Some of these, Abaddon. Okay, see how when I move Abaddon, it automatically shows his movement? I would definitely recommend turning that on, especially if you're new to 40k and new to TTS. That way you don't forget it. To do that, highlight all the models, and you can highlight your entire army, in fact. That's probably the way you do it. Right-click on one of them, and go to Toggles. In Toggles, down here, you'll have Measure Movement. So I'm going to turn on Measure Movement, and now, anytime I drag these guys, it's going to show me the movement distance that they're going. That is ultra important. Again, if you want to rotate, just Q and E as you go. Obviously, be careful because you're like gaining movement if you do that. But regardless, that's a quick way to do it, especially with like round bases or whatever. Now, there are more toggles in there. We'll go over some of those here in a moment. But yeah, you can go through some of these. You know, auto raise, so when there's a terrain in the way, they'll jump up over it, all that sort of stuff. Again, we'll go over, we're going to do like an example turn here shortly, so don't worry about it. To get rid of the marker right there, just hit 5 on your numpad. 4 increases, 5 decreases. Now, like I mentioned earlier, there's these mission cards here. Definitely, if you're brand new, like this is your first time ever, like don't worry about the mission cards then. You can probably just play a game where you kill each other. But once you get a little bit in, yeah, dude, you're going to be wanting to use missions. So this is one of the big updates from 2024 from my original video. They didn't have these in the past, but now they're here. If you do fixed secondaries, you can just choose some of these, and what you do is just flip over the fixed ones you want, and then you hit lock-in secondaries. What I'm going to do, I want to do tactical missions. So, here, actually, what we should do first, you would assign yourself a name. So I'm going to click there to assign myself there, and then, yes, I want to do tactical, so I'm going to flip over the 2 tactical cards, and I'm going to hit lock-in secondaries. Once you do that, it's going to jump them up here. And, like, technically how you're supposed to do it is both of you decide, you know, it's a secret. Are you both doing tactical or fixed? And then when you're ready to announce it, you flip them over and you go, haha, I got you with tactical. Nobody really cares about that, so really you just delete these. When the time comes, which I'll show you, and we'll do a practice turn in a moment, I'll show you how to load them, but do be aware, that's how you save those there. Now, what about, like, missions and maps and, like, all that sort of stuff? Well, the first thing you're probably going to want to do is generate a mission. So up here is mission selection. I like to do random Games Workshop, so like the official versions, but you could do fully random. So hit the random GW. It's going to show you the deployment zones. Again, Alt will zoom in so you can actually read them. It's going to show me the mission rules. Sweet, I got the Chilling Rain, my favorite one. And then it'll show you the, and then I got my least favorite primary mission. But regardless, it's going to show you all this. So once you see these, you don't have to set everything up manually. You can come down here. So deployment zones, we got Search and Destroy. So I'm just going to hit the arrow keys until I get Search and Destroy. And what's awesome, sweet, man, it just added to the map. Now, here's a quick tip. If you're playing Combat Patrol, so the 1K games, go to the left, not the right. And that'll show you Combat Patrol, all those ones. But in this case, we're doing a 2K, so Search and Destroy. Now, what I would recommend for the workshop maps, you can search by deployment names. And in fact, for a lot of them, not all of them, that's how I've done it. So to add a map or to search for anything, I'm just going to come in here and search for Search and Destroy. Boom, I got a bunch. And these are WTC, so they're official. Now, to add a map, this is another important thing. Don't just left-click on it. It's going to take you to a totally new lobby. You're going to have to remake everything from scratch. Don't do search either. It would just show you like the pieces of terrain. What you want to do is additive load. This is basically like a layer option. So I'm going to additive load and hit load. Sweet. I got my map here. I got my deployment here. Now let's say for some odd reason I don't like it. I could hit remove terrain. Obviously, when I do like it, I could hit confirm terrain. So maybe I didn't like that one for some weird reason. I'm going to add this second one. Get that in there, and I'm going to confirm it. So it didn't happen here, and it happens way less often than it used to. If you watch the original video, you'll see what I'm talking about. Sometimes, though, the board, like, bugs out, especially the mat. It'll start, like, flashing at you, and it's because it's not really, like, it's not the right height or whatever. If that ever happens, right-click on the map. What's going on here? Oh, okay, I guess they really fixed it. But if that ever happened, we'll just do it with terrain. Right-click on it, go to scale, and just hit up. And it'll upscale it ever so slightly and fix it. This is awesome. So, man, this is why you want to do the WTC maps, because they are set up for, like this map I'm playing is, like, from official tournaments. So, like, everything's perfect on here. You don't really have to mess with this. Now, what will happen if you ever do have to fix the map, and this is, like, it happens from time to time, this is why this feature is here, the, like, objectives will disappear because they'll be under the mat. If that ever happens, just adjust the height. So I'm going to hit the up button until they go up. In this case, I don't need to, so I'll put it down. Now, this, so this is important. I know it's, like, silly because it's not actually happening, but it's important, especially if you're doing, like, custom maps. You definitely want to know that. Here's another little tip for you. So, most people, especially on TTS, we don't care for the little like walkways right there. There's like no windows here. Why would I even like ever use that? Notice they automatically jumped up. That was the auto raise feature. If you notice yours aren't doing it, like going ahead and turn that on in the toggles. But again, nobody ever uses that anymore. So here's a quick tip for you, at least on good maps like this. You see how it says 1 through 3? If I use the number keys on my keyboard, not the numpad, but the number keys, I can cycle through them. So 2 will get rid of the top floor, 3 will get rid of all those. And I would recommend getting rid of most of these in most cases, unless there's windows, get rid of them. Because especially with the auto raise, stuff's going to get stuck on them all the time. And so often, man, that's like the first thing I do. I just go through and I quickly change all that. So, alright, we got the map loaded, we got our army loaded. Let's do a quick deployment. After this, I'll go over, like, finding a match, and I'll go over hosting a match and joining a match. So, alright, we got everything loaded in here. We want to deploy. Normally, so this is like, I'm teaching you how to play 40k ultra quick. You gotta roll to see who deploys first. So, I'm just gonna roll the dice. I got a 5. My opponent will say that they got a 4. So, okay, cool. I get to decide. If you're doing WTC, the maps are mirrored, so it doesn't matter which side you go on. So, long story short, you always choose the side that's closest to you, unless it's a custom map or something. So, I want to deploy, so I'm going to put my boys up here. Usually, you want to start with your crappiest unit, so I'm going to put my cultist back here. He's going to place his unit from over there. And then, you know, okay, I should have gone over this beforehand. So for reserves, strategic reserves, deep strike, all that sort of stuff, you got the way that I normally do it, because I'm old school or whatever. I just set them off to the side. Obviously, I tell my opponent. But what you'll more commonly use, and what most people are going to use, is this board over here. You see how it says reserves, strategic reserves, transports. If I was going to reserve these guys, I would stick them in there. Also, too, here's another important key. You can copy and paste. So if I need 2 tanks, Control-C is in copy, Control-V is in Victor, we'll paste it, and boom, I'll put him in strat reserves. Should have mentioned that in the beginning, but yeah, that's a quick way to reserve your stuff. So I put down my cultist, he put down a unit. Now I'm going to put down my tank. He's going to put down another unit. Abaddon's going to go destroy some guys, so I'm going to put him up here. Here's another button that's good to know. So let's say I put the floors back on here, you know. Auto raise will sometimes mess with you. See how it's like jumping up? Maybe I want him to like get in the corner down there. Well, he keeps jumping up high and he might fall over or all sorts of funny stuff like that. If you want to keep him on the ground, hold left click and right click. If you hold both those buttons, it's going to drag him across the ground. Here's another extremely important key. If you want to undo the movement before letting go, hit escape on your keyboard. If you hit escape, it's going to put them back to their original position. So you're going to use that all the time. Maybe, I don't know, I advanced 50 million inches or whatever, and I'm curious if I can get over here. But then I'd be in an engagement range or whatever. Maybe I can go over here. I can't. All right, I'm just going to hit escape. That's going to put them back to their original position. Be careful with moving stuff, because obviously I moved back like up there, and oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, the odds of me getting him like exactly where he was before, pretty slim, so do be aware of that. When it comes to the models, like moving through terrain, it's like, it's no problem, really. You literally, yeah, you just move through and let go. If they ever get stuck somewhere, like, you know, obviously just take a moment to fix them. So, like, maybe I'd move them out of the wall for a moment there. One thing you might notice, so, like, I'm doing the measuring here, and you see how my icon changes to a measuring stick? Well, now it's stuck on a measuring stick, and I can't, like, select Abaddon or whatever. One way is you can hit F1. All the F keys will control these options up here on the top left. Grab is obviously how you choose stuff. Line can do the ruler, etc. You mainly are only going to use grab and line. Sometimes you draw, so maybe if I want to like draw a line for somebody, or I want to see if like I have line of sight, that sort of stuff, you can do it that way. But regardless, if your icon changes, you can't select stuff, it's up there. If you want to erase, by the way, just choose the eraser and just click on them. They'll go away. So I'm going to hit F1. Now I can choose my dudes again. So, alright, we got everything deployed. Well, let's put these guys back here. We got everything deployed, so it's time to pull my secondaries. So, I'm going to come back over here. Maybe I went first. And so, all I'm going to do... Well, first of all, I'm going to shuffle these. I'm not even positive you have to shuffle them, but I always do. So, to do that, just right-click and choose Shuffle. I just spam it a bunch, so I know they're super shuffled. And then, in this case, you can hit the Draw button. And it's going to automatically pull these out and put them there for you. So again, I'm going to hold down Alt. And I'm going to see, sweet, I got Bring It Down. I really hope you brought vehicles or monsters. Otherwise, I might just discard that one. I can also see I got Investigate Signals, one of my favorites when I'm playing demons. Now, maybe you're not using this for some reason. Maybe you're like, I don't know, you're hardcore, you're doing everything custom. You can just drag them off the deck and then hit F to flip them over. And then if you want to put them back in, flip them back over and just hover over and it'll add back to the deck. Now, okay, so I got Bring It Down, Investigate Signals. So, alright, we'll just pretend real quickly. These guys go to the corner. Ooh, yes, so, oh man, I gotta measure 9 inches or whatever. That's annoying. No, you don't. You can just come over here and do the Show Investigate Signals option. Cool, I know that so long as they're fully within this corner, I got my Investigate Signals. Maybe I want to know Strategic Reserve, so I don't want to have to measure 6 inches. Sweet. Maybe area denial in the middle, I want to know that. All these options up here. Make sure you guys are taking advantage of this, otherwise it gets a little annoying to have to measure all that yourself. So I got one unit in the corner, and then we'll say that my tank, he popped off with his Dark Packs, and I was able to blow up a vehicle or a monster while my turn ends. By the way, so normally you'd hit Start Game, and as you go through the turns, it would automatically add command points for you. But maybe like regenerated one, or, you know, for whatever reason you're gaining command points, you can adjust it yourself and be positive that you're subtracting them once you use them. Like, obviously that's important. But regardless, so I killed a tank and I got 1 Investigate Signals. Well, for each corner of Investigate Signals, I get 2 points. So all I'm going to do is hit 2 points for that right there, and then bring it down. We'll say I just killed a basic vehicle. I'll get 3 points in that case. Once these are accomplished, or I discard them for CP, or I replace them for 1 CP, just hit the discard option and they'll go away. Your opponent's going to draw his 2 cards, he'll do his turn, and on your next turn, obviously, just draw the next 2 ones. Now, let's say you get one that like you can't do on the first turn, whatever the reason is, you can hit the Recycle Secondary, and it's going to shuffle it into the deck and then replace it. That way you don't have to like manually shuffle it yourself. On the second turn and beyond, obviously you're going to start scoring primary, so maybe Abaddon was right here, and now it's turn 2. You can score your primary right here. So he got 5 points, and we'll just pretend I got another 3 and another, yeah, max out, I got 5. I'm already up to 28 points versus their measly 10 points right there. Now again, normally you would hit start game. I probably should have mentioned that. So before the game starts, you'd hit start game, and then you can cycle through who starts, and you can cycle through the phases. So once your turn ends, you would just hit the next turn option, and it'll go to your opponent's turn. Again, it'll automatically track command points. So, dude, it's so awesome. Everything's already automated for you. That's one of the beautiful things about this, is games will go by way quicker than real life. Because most people, dude, you're going to run into people, and this is a great way to learn and a great way to get better, especially if you're competitive. You're going to run into people who literally play this every day. People like me who have like, I think I have like 650 hours or something like that, which isn't anything compared to other people, like not even close. But you're going to run into people who like, yeah, man, it's no thing. They're going to be moving around left and right. Don't get scared by it. By the way, and I genuinely mean this, I'm not just saying it because this is like 40k video or tutorial where, dude, people on the Discord are genuinely some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. They are happy to teach you how to play. They'll teach you not only TTS, but 40k. You will see that all the time. And I'm always so surprised because I'm like, damn, dude, you are like ultra kind, because I know that's going to take a few hours of your day just to show them that. People are ultra kind. So, speaking of that, though, let's say we want to create, or better yet, find a match. So, links are in the description. But basically, you're going to go back to the TTS, or excuse me, the Discord server. And you want to find the looking for game section. So in the Warhammer 40k, looking for game, you're going to see, typically, people are asking, you're going to see people asking a bunch. There's a lot of casual games, competitive, choose your style. It won't let me type, but whatever, you know, life happens. So you see it's @ LFG, and then you choose the kind. There's 3 that I can think of off the top of my head. There's beginner, which you'd probably want to use if you're brand new. There's casual, if you're just looking for casual, and there's 40k competitive. Once you put, and you would just say what you're looking for. So I'd do @ LFG beginner. Hey, I'd like to try a 1k game. Would somebody mind teaching me how to play 40k? I almost guarantee, it might take a little bit, but I almost guarantee people will be willing to show you. In fact, I'm almost surprised we don't see somebody. It is late at night. That is a big part of it. The time of day is going to be huge. Weekends, it's popping off, man. Weekends, every like 10 minutes. Look, somebody asked at 9:22, and at 9:23, somebody else was asking. 9:25, somebody else replied. It's a Thursday night, like, just a weekday. But weekends, it really pops off. It really is, like, ultra popular on here. But let's say you find it, you'll see that they just say a room number. Where is one? Oh, okay. People are deleting it, but here's one. Room 5. So you say, hey, I'm looking for a game, 1K, anybody willing? Theta or me, Fat Archon, will say, yeah, man, I'll play a 1K game with you. That'd be awesome. So you would choose a room number. If you scroll down over here, you're going to see the lobby and then game rooms. Now, if you are brand new to the Discord, be aware of this. You have to use the new player lobby, unless they changed it. Yeah, new player rooms. So you have game room 1. You would just join there to create another. So if you're a brand new player, you would say new game room 2, and they would join you in 2. More commonly, especially if you're brand new, they're going to create the game for you. So they would say game room 2. And in that case, you'd go to the normal 2. Unless they tell you it's the new player room, always just assume it's the main one. Now, let's say that you are hosting, so maybe you and your friend are going to practice TTS because you're smart. You don't want to, like, you know, waste people's time or feel embarrassed or anything like that. You're going to create a game. So what you would do is go to the main menu. So I'm going to hit menu, main menu, and hit yes. And you're going to choose create. So let me make that full screen. There we go. Hit create. In this case, we're doing multiplayer. So multiplayer. Give it a name, so War123, Password123. I'm sure some of you strangers will join into some of my matches sometime, but hit Create Server. It's going to ask you what mod you want to join. Make sure you and your friend have FTC installed. Don't worry about them having the maps or the mods or anything else. And in fact, I don't even think they need FTC installed themselves, to be honest. It'll like control, it'll share everything, I should say. But do the FTC. Choose your player. Confirm the map size. So this is, here's the Etiquette 101 for some of the playing 40k on Tabletop Simulator. I would wait for my opponent here. I wouldn't load my army, I wouldn't load maps, I wouldn't nothing. This is how I do it, and this is just etiquette to make sure everything's fair. I'm not like choosing an army that I know counters his army. I'm not choosing a map that I know is bad for his army, any of that stuff. I wait for them. That way they can like see what I'm doing and also like agree with me on the map. So alright, we'll just pretend that they joined in. Next step, how I normally do it, I load a map. And again, you can, in this case, you could generate the mission first. So let's take a look here real quick. Search and destroy again. Maybe you don't like them, by the way. Just hit it again. So much better. Dawn of War. That's much more fun, in my opinion. Now, I'm not positive I have one specifically for Dawn of War, and I don't think I do. So in that case, you can just do a normal WTC one, and obviously you see like the previews, so just try to find one that looks like it'd like work with that pretty well. In this case, I'm just going to load a random one. Again, we're doing additive load. Never just like left click on it. Do the additive load, and load it. Going to load in here, confirm for gaming. He says, or they say that, sweet, this map looks cool to me. What army you playing? I'm gonna say, yeah, dude, I'm playing Chaos Space Marines. I'm gonna kick your butt. So load that in there. They'll load their army. Remember to pick your secondaries. So flip these over and lock in my secondaries. Be sure you hit your name up here, just so it's recorded. And then, yeah, you would see who goes first. So once you guys rolled off, maybe I go first, maybe they go first. Obviously, be sure, again, that you're choosing the deployment. So we had Dawn of War. I'm going to load that in here. And then, yeah, man, you start deploying, get the game going, and start learning 40k. So, again, guys, I hope this was, like, pretty encompassing. I know it's not the most detailed thing I've ever recorded ever, but I do think it has more info, or, like, more direct and more pertinent info than my original video. I really wanted to get this out here, especially like the mission stuff. I think that was important. Some of the deployment stuff I got a little confused on. Again, when like models die, just flip them over, and then when you're done, you can just delete them. So select them all, hit delete on your keyboard. Maybe you need to like move, this is like the random tips, the stuff I forgot section. Maybe you need to move terrain, so I can't select it, you know? What you would do is right click on it, and this applies to any object you can't select. Right click, go to toggles, and unlock it. You can also lock it, but unlock it. Now I can move it, I can delete it, I can resize it, all that stuff. And then once I get it fixed, I'll go ahead, right click again, and just lock it. With the secondaries, maybe you don't like everybody loves these, but maybe you don't like it. But again, you can use the number keys on your keyboard. Make it just a marker. This one's kind of cool if you're like a quarter of a millimeter in, you're not sure, you can choose that one. If you've stickied it, so 5 is the blue player, 4 is the red player. That's a relatively common one. Normally keep it on 1 though. You can the other way, and this will work for other objects sometimes. You could right click and go to states, and it's all those same buttons if you go to the states. So do be aware you got that there. I'm trying to think, did I forget anything else important? I don't think so. If you guys do have any questions, by all means, post them in the comment section below. I answer literally any and every question. Speaking of, so I've been doing the 40k videos for a decent while. So if you guys are interested, especially in competitive play, but also new player friendly stuff. I do have a lot of new player friendly stuff, especially for like collecting armies and like basic tactics. So I have a full like tactical guide on like using infiltrators and nurgling specifically, all that sort of stuff. If that interests you at all, like please check out my channel. If you guys haven't already, like, please consider liking and subscribing. At the very least, if you thought this video was helpful, at the very least, if you could give the video a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment below, that would be greatly appreciated. Definitely helps, you know, helps the metrics, gets more eyeballs on the channel, makes me feel better. So I would appreciate that if you guys don't mind. Again, though, let me know if you guys got any questions whatsoever. All the links will be in the description below. Let me know if I missed one randomly. Otherwise, though, I hope this was helpful, guys. Thanks for watching, and best of luck out there.